All right, Blake, we're all in for a treat. Rahgee Horner, welcome to F.A.C.E. I'm making you the presenter now. So looking forward to hearing your voice, and it's been a while.
All right,
Oh,
let's see. I'm
unmuted.
Oh, wow, the power.
Yeah, it's so great. Yeah, hi, Rahgee. It's been a while. It's so great to hear your voice.
Good to hear you. I don't even know what screen I'm sharing at the moment.
You're showing simpler trading because...
Oh, well, that's the wrong screen. Okay. Let's see.
I think I know what you mean.
How's that?
That's great. You know, I've been telling people, Rahgee, that, you know, I conducted 700 interviews, you know, including Blake and Nick and, you know, so many people. And the one I did with you, it, you know, stuck in my mind. You were one of my favorite interviews.
Wow. Well, I got to tell you, I've actually never had the pleasure of meeting Blake nor Nick. I know them from basically Twitter. So it's really cool to sort of be able to meet them. I guess Blake's there. So nice to meet you, Blake. I'm Rahgee.
Huge fan of yours. I'm really glad you're here today. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
You know, Rahgee,
yes.
I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but I really think that you know, broke the glass ceiling and made it cool for females and women to become traders.
She did. Definitely.
Well, you know what? Okay. When I have a cool avatar like Nick does on my Twitter, I've always been so jealous of that. Like that,
because I remember you on a
cartoon avatar ever.
I remember you on a motorbike.
Oh yeah, I still have that one. Oh yeah, I still have that one.
So yeah, you're.
So you know, I'm not putting you in the same class as Muriel Siebert, who was the first woman trader. That's the old era. Even though you and I, Rahgee, used to carry around our commodity perspective, I'm talking about the modern era of, you know, once social media started and you were out there, you were out front, you were one of the first, and you paved the way for a lot of women to think it's okay to be a trader, to be an analyst. Remember back in the old FNN days, you hardly ever saw a woman giving her opinion on the markets, and now it's prevalent. So I think you were a trailblazer.
Wow, I didn't think I was old enough. Give Nick and I some time. We're still young. We're still young. We still have lots to do, right, girl?
Yeah, you know, it's a state of mind. So great to have you with us. And I'm looking at your stuff here, and I just want to pose a question to you. What's on your radar screen?
You know, right now, I've been doing a lot more by way of some of the complementary futures contracts to some of my Forex trades, but, you know, I'm pretty much a trend trader, as some of you may know, some of you may not know, and my largest position is still my long euro that we took into the pullback on the French election. It was, you know, basically a 108 entry. I think the euro and the pound, even though the pound's kind of in a lumpy little stage right now, I think those are going to be two of the superstars going into the latter half of 2017. Not that I'm talking 6 months down the road, but I want to hang on to my euro longs and just find more of them. And if we can get a little bit more equities risk appetite, I'd like to pile into some more euro yen. So those are what's on my radar in probably the most intense way right now. And I think I'd love to see the dollar rip higher, maybe one more time, and I'd like to sell the heck out of that, and that means just buy more euro. So I'm kind of a skipping record right now. I just went on the euro trade.
So are you in the camp that this might be a secular shift in trend in the dollar? You know, that we've been in this bull market in the dollar, depending upon your time frame. If you go back 20 years, it could have been a bear market rally. Well, but your view is that the trend is broken, and I know some of the short-term dollar bears, but long-term dollar bulls are open to the Dixie break into 92 before we get a big rally in the dollar. So where's your head?
I'm thinking? Sure, my head is right here. So this was mid 2014,
Okay.
to early 2015. And you guys remember the one word that we were just absolutely nauseated by, right? The whole taper. I find us to be in this early stage of that kind of move because, you know, we're just waiting for Draghi to really just own taper. I mean, he started it, right? He did the most clever dovish taper in the history of taper where, you know, they reduced asset purchases but extended the program out to December. Well, it's like, okay, nice try, Mario, but we know exactly what you're doing and just go ahead and do it, own it, and then we're just going to buy more euro. So that's what's in my head. I think we're in that kind of mid-2014 stage on Euro-US.
So could we retrace most of the Draghi decline that could take us back into the 140 range again, 135, 140, or are you looking at the big decline from 140 and although you're bullish through for a while and I could tell you're pounding the table on it, would you look for fib retracements from the 140 high to the 103 low as being potential targets?
You know, you're giving me a whole lot more credit than I probably deserve. I'm looking for maybe 125. That's like the first rung, right? So that would be a good upside target towards the latter half of this year. Anything beyond that, and I'm with you when it comes to retracements. Healthy trends correct, right? So if someone's not in this right now, is it going to correct? Absolutely. I'm rooting for a few more FOMC fireworks, maybe some non-farm payrolls to help us out, give the dollar a few rips higher, give me a euro pullback, and I'll just continue to take advantage of those. If this is a healthy trend, we'll get those opportunities for maybe those, you know, 382 type corrections, you know, of So that's where my head's at. Yeah.
And how about the yen has been confusing for people, and there are people on very diverse opinions on the yen. You know, I interviewed Jamie Satley, and he had some wave work that said, you know, we could see U.S. dollar yen go to 150. You know, and there's some people looking for the par level to be retested again. Do you have a view on it, or is it an I don't know trade for you, U.S. dollar yen?
Well, you know, I look at the yen and then I want to ask myself, well, if I do want to short it, that means, you know, I've been long the DAX via EWG, and I've been long in and out of the EWQ, the French MSCII shares, along with my opinion of the round 1, round 2 French election. So that's been good in that I know there's risk appetite emanating from there. I think the Nikkei is helping me out. I think the NAS is helping me out. The only reason I think the yen's been really stubborn to just weaken already is you look at the SPOOs, you look at the Dow, and they're still in chop. I mean, chop meaning chop at the top of a trend, right? Yeah. But we're still not seeing that really convincing resumption of the uptrend. Maybe we see it now. I don't know. Yeah. But if we do see that, if we see the Dow start to test 21,150 on the YM, all of a sudden I think my yen takes it on the chin, starts to weaken. But I'm not going to play dollar yen because, you know, in terms of contrast, I don't know that I want to sell a weak yen against an already weak greenback. You know, why not go euro yen, right? That's where my head's at. So I think about who the best candidate is to basically clock the yen, and I'd rather go with a stronger base currency there. So euro. Yeah, I think euro, even pound maybe. You know, I love what, and I caught a little bit of what I believe Gregor was talking about in terms of pound yen. I never met him, but I'm with him. I think after euro yen becomes pound yen for me. Yeah. Okay.
And it looks like there's going to be some decent retraces possibly for both that kind of tie in with what you're looking for in euro. That we had big moves. I mean, that was a moonshot from 115 to 26. So
I think
maybe we are going to have a chance around 22 again, or 122 again to enter.
You know, I think we're really early. I think we're so early, and I think people really shouldn't. I'm actually going to pull up Bitcoin because it reminds me of the Bitcoin story that everyone's talking about right now. You know,
were you there? Were you there on Bitcoin? I don't understand it.
I've been in Bitcoin since the election last October.
Wow.
Yeah. And not in a meaningful way, more in like kind of a fangirl, this is the cryptocurrency, this is the future kind of way, more like I want to hold this thing till it goes to 16,000 kind of way. You know, when I'm 80, I'll liquidate it. If I don't get Mount Goxed, that's my plan.
So where do you hold your Bitcoin? Do you have, people never have physical possession of it. It's a digital entry for you somewhere. Do you have a Bitcoin account, or
Yes,
do you own?
and the reason I brought up the Bitcoin is, I'll say the same thing about the yen or the U.S. dollar versus the euro. Wait for those pullbacks. Everyone starts getting so amped up when the thing makes a higher high. I will never buy a higher high within the context of a trend. And, I told people, hey, wait for those little pullbacks. They'll come back. If it's a healthy trend, if it's legit, it'll come back to you. So where do I own my Bitcoins? Here in my office, I actually have a few guys that are really savvy about cryptocurrency, and GDAX is where I think most people are holding their Bitcoins, but there's a way, and I'm actually going to figure that out today because I was told about it about a month ago. You can actually take your Bitcoins like offline sort of and put them on a USB drive, and that's something I think I want to do. I don't want to leave them out there on the interweb sort of. So I'm going to learn about that. So maybe we talk about that another time, because right now I don't know how to do that, and it's GDAX.
Yeah, I mean, this whole arena has escaped me. So, it's something I just don't, I really don't understand it. And, the main argument is it's, an alternative currency, the privacy aspect, and
right.
They have a lot of great things going for it. Do you think it's Chinese money pouring in here?
Well, if you look at, there was a map I remember looking at last October. And for me, the Bitcoin trade was actually a really interesting play on my short peso play, because you could see the political, obviously, fallout on the peso. And as the peso fell, Bitcoin rallied. But I don't know what, I know that the Japanese have basically made it legal tender. I know the Russians have. I'm waiting for someone like India, where the rupee has been such problems, and you start to see Bitcoin used more there.
You would think so, because they eliminated all that cash. That it'd be a great alternative for them.
And I would not be surprised in the next 12 to 16 months to see something like that happen. But I've got about 30 Bitcoin, and I'm really starting to look at Ethereum because of, you've got JP Morgan involved with this blockchain. You've got Wall Street. And I think when you start to see this shakeout, I think it might be Ethereum and Bitcoin amongst the 400 cryptocurrencies out there. I think it might be Ethereum's time, and I'm going to stop accumulating Bitcoin. I'm going to take a look at some ETH.
So is that $199 or $199,000?
$199.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a share of Berkshire Hathaway, right?
Oh, okay. All right. Great one. All right. So interesting. Yeah, I've been reading about this symbol, ETH. And so this is, how do you know, like you said, there's 400 out there. Are any of them scams?
Oh,
or
I'm
it's
sure,
just a matter, or are some of them, it's just a matter of getting sponsorship for them to come into their own?
That's a great question. I just kind of go to Coinbase. It's just Coinbase.com or Coinbase. And you'll see that Coinbase pretty much is going to watch BTC, ETH, and LTC. LTC is, I think, the second oldest cryptocurrency out there. I don't really know a lot about the others. That's pretty much where my attention is. LTC never really got any traction, and right now I think it's the Bitcoin high tide that's carrying even ETH and LTC with it. But I think when all that shakeout occurs, and when we get that crazy pullback that I'm pretty sure we're going to see, I think it's going to be BTC and ETH kind of standing in the rubble of everybody else.
Does gold have a chance to make a parabolic move to the upside once we get some type of low in here? A lot of people are saying this could be a C wave to 1,500 or so, but you're bearish. Okay.
I've got puts in gold, and I'm which kills me. I'm Indian, right? I mean, I've got to be a gold bull. I mean, so I'm waiting for I go show up in Delhi and they won't let me in the country or something because I'm a bear. I'm a near-term bear because I think I'm a near-term bear in the 30-year too, by the way. I think the ECB taper, I think the, another 1 or 2 rate hikes out of the FOMC, and, this isn't the negative interest rate environment where Dow, dollar, gold, and bonds all rallied. I don't think gold is this fictitious savings and loan that all these negative interest rate countries now then, we're throwing their money into gold, almost treating it like a currency, right?
Yeah, so now there'll be, now there is and may continue to be opportunity costs.
I think that, yeah, I mean, I think as long as I'm bearish on the Fed fund futures, and I think the ECB is going to do what I think they're going to do into the latter half of the year. I think when the Fed balance sheet conversation really starts to become a much more serious narrative, yeah, I'm bearish gold and I'm bearish the 30-year. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
How about, so when it comes to that, Rahgee, is it possible, with your view on the dollar, I know that the S&Ps, you know, they've done well with a weak dollar where you've had nominal gains with dollar weakness and commodities have thrived. They've done well with a strong dollar. The recent rally we had really didn't put the brakes on the stock market. Do you think if you're right about upside targets of the euro and euro yen, that the market will continue to like a weakening dollar? Because it's takes a tail, you know, it's kind of a headway away from multinationals.
Well, I mean, I think if nothing else, if the market really is serious about buying euro, they have to sell dollars to put on that position. So just the mechanics of just all this, you know, I've been watching COT data, just the mechanics of getting long euro is going to be a lot of pressure on the dollar. Dollar traders and the dollar have known that, you know, we're going to see 2 to 3 rate hikes, and yet it's not like we're hovering around 102 on the prospects of this,
right,
you know, 75 basis points kind of year. So I think the further away we get from this next rate decision, where I do think we're going to get that quarter point bump, the market's going to say, okay, thanks, dollar. We know the FOMC's hawkish. We don't know their trajectory. We don't care. The new story becomes, what's Mario going to do? It's not even Yellen and company. It's Mario and company. So I've got to be a dollar bear if I'm a euro bull.
But do we continue to, do you think there will someday be a 10% correction in the S&Ps?
You know, I can tell you this. My crystal ball has been in the shop since I was, you know, 15 and I started trading. I don't know. I would love if there were. I would love another massive correction. You know, if this market's sitting down, so you're talking about, you know, gosh, I'd be bull in a pullback. I think for the most part, I hate to bring this up to like a Trump trade. I don't know that there's legs on that anymore. Are people still out there waiting for this tax cut narrative to take place, and how far ahead of that have we run this market? And when we finally get it, are we even happy about it? I mean, it kind of reminds me of OPEC and crude this morning, right? I mean, people are like, why is crude lower? They agreed to the 9-month because we already knew it, because we already discounted it. You know, unless they came out with a 12-month narrative, crude just wasn't going to break 52. So I think it's a similar psychology on equities. And we finally get what it is we've been waiting for. Do we really care? I don't know. Interesting.
So you did it again, Rahgee. Another great interview. And you know, I'm watching Skype, and all the guys on my team are commenting, like, you know, they all love Nick, and you know that you guys make us feel like backseat drivers. So if you'd like, and I think it would be important to people that have heard you live and are going to hear the recording, what's the best way for the community and people that see this interview to get a hold of you, follow you, and retain you in some capacity?
Oh gosh, you know, I'm in all the social media places. I'm Rahgee Horner at Facebook and Twitter and Stock Twits. You guys can feel free to email me at Rahgee, RAGHEE at Simpler Trading. I'm just out there in the on the interweb, so you guys will run into.
What's your business model now? Are you educating people? Do you have a timing service? What are you doing with the retail public now?
I'm still doing what I've always done. I run a chat room in the morning, and I keep a spreadsheet of my trades out there for my followers. But, you know, at the end of the day, trading comes number one, but it just gets so darn lonely. You guys know that. You've got a great crew to talk and toss ideas around with, and that's probably been the one spot in my life where I go, yeah, I kind of want a crew. I kind of want a group. You know, we all want that tribe. So, yeah, I'm just going to build my community.
You have 2 talented eyes, but we only have 2. You know, so, you know, it's great to have the looks and the perspectives of a community or a group together.
And that's really, at the end of the day, exactly. You know, it just doesn't matter if you're doing this in a cave, right? It just gets pretty boring and pretty lonely. So it's good to have the group.
Well, thank you for coming here today, Rahgee. It was a great interview. Again, some great ideas. Rahgee Horner, the dollar bear, hoping for a dollar rip to fade, and really, again, you proved what I said on Twitter. It was an excellent interview, and God, you covered. I didn't even know we were going to cover crypto, and you covered that too. So thank you so much for your time today, Rahgee.
Oh, I always enjoy my time with you, absolutely. And it was so cool to meet Blake and Nick. I'm kind of a fangirl of both of them, so very humbling. So thank you all. I appreciate it. Thanks for thinking of me, Dale.
All right, Rahgee. Good hunting, and may the pips continue to rain down on you and all the people in your life. Okay.
Absolutely. Happy pippage. Thank you, my friend.
All right. Adios, my trading warrior sister, Rahgee Horner. Everybody, thank you very much. F.A.C.E, thank you, community. I'm sorry I wasn't able to show any of your screenshots today. We'll wrap up the week. God, can you believe the content in here? Started off with Forex Stop Hunter, and then Steve Volge and Stelios from the ocean in Cyprus. And then Nicola Duke comes in, and then that up-and-coming star Blake Morrow sharing his views before he heads to beautiful Acapulco. And then Rahgee Horner topping off the cake. So remember, everyone, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. And I'll see everyone next, see you tomorrow. And then we have a long 3-day weekend. Good hunting, and if you like what we're doing here, continue to come back. F.A.C.E is the place to become a trading ace. Adios. You're welcome. You're welcome, Robert, Philippe, Bob, Kevin, Barry. See you guys tomorrow.